world. This is Stefan of Landrigan Games. Landrigan now has 100 subscribers on mine, so hooray for that. The only other platform with substantial change is Facebook, which is up to 90 followers, so I'll be giving another shout out to the Philippines soon enough. As you can see, the night is now feature complete, so to speak. I didn't need it for this video, but I also made frames for a blocking animation for any of you who are interested in using him to teach yourself video game animation. As well, I've made his sprite sheet available in 7 colors, link in the description. I was considering having him switch colors with each death in order to show that off, but that proved to be too much unnecessary work. Now that I have 2 functioning sprite sheets, it's time for me to switch game engines as planned, so goodbye Unity and hello Godot. The main roadblock for this update was not programming related, but was instead the process of entrenching Landrigan Games as legally now a business. Now that I've successfully jumped through those hoops, hooray for that too. Also, after watching the video that uses a foot race as an analogy for privilege, I humbly apologize to everybody else who has been trying to found Landrigan Games. It was obviously my privileged access to Fey magic that carried me to the finish line first, and couldn't possibly have been foresight, determination, and the decision to not wait on a starting pistol. Accompanying the business end of this, though, I am now crowdfunding. Please give me money. If you do, I'll make your dreams come true. Specifically the one where you're pacing the halls of your alma mater, you suddenly end up inside a Taco Bell bathroom, then you walk up to the cashier and buy a dime bag of televisions. Back in the late 19th century, honest subscriber wranglers on YouTube, just trying to make a decent video, had to contend with video thieves, snake oil peddling evangelists, and a lazy sheriff, among other annoyances on the wild frontier. During that time, I came across a philosophical channel by the name of SolRosenberg84. I use the term philosophical as genuinely as I can here. He wasn't trying to tell his audience how the world is, but was instead trying to figure the world out and bring his audience along for the ride. In one of his videos, he laid down a challenge, "Prove to me there's a God." Additionally, he provided a format for which he'd be willing to consider the proof. A trend that he noticed and despises is the stating of the thesis followed by cherry-picked data that supports it. Format for which he declared preference is laying out the raw data and then trying to make sense of it. At the least, he's consistent with himself. While I highly doubt he'll ever become hapless enough to stumble upon this video, I'll still try to do a response in the way for which he asked. Granted, I won't be reaching for the full scope of proving the existence of gods, but I will try to prove the existence of non-physical entities. Quick disclaimer before I start. The following is your opinion. If you disagree, you are lying. The incident that started me on this path of inquiry involves a free chatbot that I got from a friend in college. Being the not good Christian that I am, my first objective with it was, of course, to get it to spout obscenities at me. Such a task proved fruitless, however, despite my attempts to reason with it. When looking through its programming, I came across some code that prevented it from using specific words, those being the obscene ones. I deleted those lines of code, and 2 minutes later the chatbot was cursing like a sailor. The experience has stuck with me, specifically the notion of internal change from outside forces. If a dog ate a hamburger yesterday when it was presented to him, it is essentially guaranteed that he would eat an identical hamburger today if presented with one. If he doesn't, what brought about that change? Did the dog change himself, or did an outside force change him? What then of the animal known as human? If a human ate a presented hamburger yesterday, but does not do so today, did the animal really change himself, or could that actually again be the work of an outside force? If the human changed himself, with which internal mechanism did he do so? If the human was changed from without, where does that outside force reside? My attempt at Occam's razor is that the only cerebral difference between humans and the rest of nature is that humans have been hijacked. In World of Warcraft, for example, the difference between player characters and non-player characters are the outside forces that affect them. World of Warcraft players don't themselves exist within Azeroth, but they interact with it through the actions of the characters that they commandeer. I hope that analogy draws a definitive and clear parallel to how non-physical bodies can interact with the physical universe without existing inside of it. However, if any of you out there have a theory with better explaining power for the given variables, go ahead and tell me how ignorant and bigoted I am.